no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left.
Side stories.
From your glade. That's when the cannibalism started.
Side stories.
Yes. Sumptuous. Parisian, Birmingham, UK.
Yeah, baby.
That's
we're
where
in
we're at
it
right now, buddy.
Woo!
Looking at the highway, you could smell the fumes. You could smell the fish and chips residue.
Oh,
just
yeah, man.
In puddles in the street.
We're in working class England, Birmingham. This is where the great band Black Sabbath is from. This is where This is where they got their dark sound.
They were super dark, and it's not like in Norway where they get all their benefits taken care of, and they live in a pristine society, and they have to figure out a way to rebel against it by becoming evil. They actually did. You could see why Ozzy Osbourne was so somber.
We're staring at a highway, and those cars keep on going by.
Zoom.
Isn't that exciting?
You know what, too? It's also just straight up, like, you look at the in-room dining in the UK, and it's just got a different flavor. It's the way...
What did you order today? What were you thinking about getting?
Ooh, what I was looking at, one thing I was eyeballing was the chicken liver parfait. And the steak und frites it was prime cut full face rump is how they call the meat here.
Full face rump.
And they said best served pink.
Oh,
like
you're gonna
JonBenét Ramsey's corpse.
Oh my! Hey, what's up, everyone? How you doing? This is Side Stories. I am Ben. I am staring at Henry. We are on the road, mildly exhausted, but of course, it's always wonderful to speak with you. We want to thank everyone who came out to our show in Manchester.
Manchester was a fun show, wasn't it?
It was unbelievable, is what I would call it, Henry. Unbelievable.
We spend our entire day spitting loogies into a bucket because Kissel and I got some mysterious drinker's disease.
Yeah.
Marcus is fine.
Marcus is fine, so I am wondering if it's all the sugary snacks, all the sugary drinks. Perhaps that's creating a coating of cancer
on his endocrine system.
Exactly.
Basically, all of the weird oils and the fake the weird bits and all of his onion flavored snacks he's eating all day, and then he tries to describe to me his way of eating them. He's like, "Don't worry, Henry. I don't eat them all at once. I eat them little bits at a time, and I let them just stay open in my bag." And I looked into his bag, his like carry-on bag. It's just filled with half open, stale, fucking crusted over bags of pickle and onion. I think they're called like Munchkins?
I think they're called Munchkins, and they're absolutely, I'm just going to say, disgusting.
They are disgusting.
They are gross. But of course, we do have a lot of news stories from the UK. Speaking of chips, there was 2 news stories this week.
I am you're focused on this. This is a very, very big saga.
Well, I have to say, we're recording on 9/11, and there was zero coverage here in the UK.
They are letting it pass.
They're letting it go. They have forgotten. But they did cover something very interesting. There was a man who opened up his Heinz beans. And you know what there was in there? Nothing but the sauce except for one bean. And then they put him on the cover. And then today...
That was his 9/11.
And then today, a man opened up a bag of crisps, which is what they call chips over here.
Kissel, are you being really continental right now?
I'm being very continental. And he opened up the bag of crisps, and you know what? There was just one little fluffer in there.
He was so happy.
One little puffer.
The look on his face, because it showed him with the one crisp, right, in that bag empty, and him this triumphant look of like... Gotcha.
So,
like he's been waiting for this to fucking come down the pipe for him. This is his ship.
This is a UK epidemic. Apparently there's someone working in one of these factories that's just putting one little puffer in the bag of crisps and putting one bean in the canister of beans.
And here they eat a lot of fucking beans.
They love the beans. And I mean, honestly, I don't mind beans. It's just like sometimes I don't need the beans.
We are both of the mind, and not that we don't always agree, but there are things obviously we differ upon, especially when it comes to food. But both of us are like, beans, for me, as a man, is a situational thing I'm going to eat.
I like it during camping when you're playing hobo.
I like them in Mexican food.
Yes.
I like them tri-tip mixed in at a barbecue restaurant.
Sure.
Even then, I barely get them.
Absolutely.
Because I'll only eat 3 spoonfuls of it because I'm not trying to go full up on the fucking beans. I'm trying to eat the meat.
Absolutely.
And so at breakfast, here, slathered in beans.
It's all bean related.
Like
breakfast.
Anne Margaret's supple breasts from the Who's Tommy. Did you ever see that movie?
I never did see Who's Tommy. Who is he?
You missed that boat.
What was it about it?
It's about the blind deaf kid who plays pinball. You know that.
Ah, that's what that song is based off of, Pinball Wizard.
Yes.
All right.
The Who's Tommy is a very famous rock musical, rock opera, as it were, done by The Who. That's why it's called The Who's Tommy. Technically, it's called Tommy, but it's written and produced by The Who.
I thought it was Who's Tommy.
No, it's like how Fast and the Furious presented Hobbs and Shaw.
Right.
The Who presented Tommy.
Tommy.
But Tommy was fake,
He's not real.
as are Hobbs and Shaw.
Isn't that sad? As is the movie Rudy, about the life of a real person, Rudy Rudiger, but indeed it is not nearly as romantic or as triumphant as they make it seem in that movie.
No, because they wasted a bunch of people's football careers letting a mentally handicapped man blow a play so everybody could applaud,
Well-
and then they released him back to his home.
But what you don't understand is in the movie, they're like, oh my God, they carried him off the field and it was so unbelievable.
That's a waste of time.
Well, it was a joke. They were laughing at him, and that's when they carried him off as a lark. But in the film, they Disneyfied it. Anyway,
But yeah,
we
it is
actually have some
9/11.
true crime stories to get to today.
Yeah.
But I suppose because we are talking about food, I mean, when we're on the road together, we do talk about food extensively.
Well, it's because we're here, and it's kind of funny to see the true differences between the two countries.
Yes.
I know we have a lot of listeners in the UK. It's why we're traveling all over the UK. So I imagine they're being, variously insulted. But I think
Somewhat.
at this point they're used to being roasted by Americans.
On the last episode, though, we did mention this was the last Relaxed Fit episode. We did mention bear meat, and I have to say, out of all the things we've ever talked about, whether it be 9/11 or JonBenét Ramsey,
or now Mormonism.
or Mormonism,
I have never received as many emails. Not even exaggeration. I'm going to say close to 500 between DMs,
Yep.
mentions on Twitter,
Right.
mentions on Instagram, and just straight up emails.
Right. So we can't read them all, but I think the overall consensus is
You can eat it.
you can eat it,
And people do eat it.
but
It's greasy.
it's greasy.
So they all say
there
the
we go.
same. They all say the same thing in the emails. I always send us the emails. It means so much to us when you reach out.
yes.
To you, especially when we specifically ask you for information. You guys fucking did it. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Now, oh God! Speaking of that, that's what made me think of. That's what it made me do.
Yeah, I know you got a little burp in there.
But bear sausage, yes, it is commonly served in a sausage because of the texture and nature of the bear sausage. There's also a thing called a blueberry bear or a blackberry bear, which is bears that are supposed to be technically they do taste like what they just ate. So
Right.
you're supposed to get them in the spring. There's all things I've learned from emails.
Yeah.
You're supposed to get them from the spring because they eat the berries and their
blackberries.
meat becomes sweet. Their fat becomes blue. Ooh. Right? You can also serve it. I've had people say that, oh, I ate it on a stick. I had another guy say I ate it in a steak. I had another guy be like, oh, my cousin makes it in a barbecue setting.
You can do a lot with
you
it.
gotta have my cousin's bear jerky. And they all say the same thing. It's mediocre.
All right, there it is. So thank you so much for weighing in on that. We have some stories.
You can send us other emails now.
You can. We got it. Side stories, lpotl@gmail.com. Shoot us emails about anything other than bear meat, because we got it. We got it. So
sausage.
this story was a little bit older. This is actually from last week, but we just didn't get to it. And Henry and I wanted to cover it today. We're going to go to Alabama.
Oh, yeah?
And this story is crazy, dude. So this is from BBC News. Alabama shootings. Boy, 14 years old, admits killing 5 family members. So this dude is accused of killing 3 of his siblings, aged 6 months, 5 and 6, and his father and his stepmother. He's being charged as a juvenile right now, but they might bump those charges up and make him an adult. Although, again, 14 years old, man, what the hell is this about, Henry? This guy, I mean, we'll get into some detail as to why he did it. He snapped because he didn't realize that his mother was his stepmother.
Apparently, they did not tell him that his mother was a stepmother. He tried to cover it up.
It seems like they were kind of smart not to, because they were like, maybe if we do, he'll kill us.
I mean, I think that Well, all right, let's break this down. So
Break
he
it
did this
down.
execution style in the middle of the night. He shot them one by one, including, I believe it was a 5-month-old,
Yeah.
a 6-year-old, and I believe,
It was 5 and 6, a 6-month-old, a 5-year-old, and a 6-year-old.
and then his mother and father, stepmother and father.
And they were all very young. The father was only 38 and the mom was 35. So this is a young, new family.
This is a young family. He massacred the whole family. I guess they just recently told him that his mom was not really his mom, it was his stepmom.
Right.
I am not remotely blaming the parents whatsoever because this is normal information.
Also, don't you think you do wait until they're around 12 or 13? I guess it's tough. It's hard to know when to tell the child.
I think you tell a child as soon as they are able to understand.
But maybe 14 is when the kid was going to be able to understand. Maybe this kid was like, maybe the parents were like, he's a little emotionally immature. Let's wait until we think he can handle it.
I mean,
and then
I'm
obviously
gonna say,
he couldn't.
We're going to wait to see what else comes out about this kid. I haven't seen any really other information about the nature of this kid's emotions. I don't know if we're going to talk a lot about that because he was so young, but I think that you tell a kid as early as humanly fucking possible. I think that you tell a kid 4 years old, 5 years old, explain that there are different kinds of families.
I don't know if they're going to know, though. They're not going to understand.
It's very interesting the way you talk, because you're talking from the perspective of a boy that literally just had people just thrown in your house. Like, you had foster brothers and sisters. None of that shit was explained to you. So you experienced this. So you were viewing this as like, well, I didn't kill everybody.
Well, I certainly did not kill everybody. I was 12 years old, and then I learned very quickly that sometimes fathers have sex with their children, and it's disgusting.
It's different.
So
you learn these lessons.
That's called hyper speed adulting.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, I didn't know people did that. Yesterday, I was playing with Batman, and today I'm learning about some disgusting things that adults do.
Yeah, exactly. They mistreat their children, and then sometimes those children are taken away by the state and given to your family. But none of that was asked. You weren't asked. They didn't ask your opinion. You just had foster brothers and sisters.
Right.
I think it's beautiful what your parents did, but it would be nice. Now
A little clarity would have been nice.
A little clarity would
I
have been nice.
understand that. I agree with you on that.
So I'm not saying that this is remotely warranted in any way, shape, or form, but whatever. But we're seeing here this is very similar to the DeFeo family from Amityville.
Oh, really?
If you think
in
about
what
it,
sense?
not remotely, but the fact that one dude killed all the rest of the family.
In that sense, absolutely.
But I
don't think as much acid was involved.
No.
Although you never know. Maybe at 14 kids are dropping acid. I mean, I was certainly drinking at 12.
Who knows what he got a hold
know.
of or how he learned the idea of, I'll just kill everybody.
Well, that's the thing, because you mentioned how it literally was like a Gestapo tactic where you just put a bullet behind the head. So he must have seen something where he's like, oh, that's how you do it.
Wolfenstein.
You're going to blame Wolfenstein.
I think what this
You're going
is
to blame
all
a video
about,
game for this?
This is Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
It's
It's a great game. All 3 of the new games are incredible.
It's very scary to think that this kid automatically jumped to killing everybody instead of, because back in my day, back when I was a kid, you'd run away from home.
Sure, it was the 90s. You could do anything. You could hitchhike. It was safer than hell.
Well, you just there are other weird adolescent ways to, and that's why I think what you said is correct. I think it's going to find out that this kid obviously had either a history of problems, or he had some kind of emotional imbalance. Obviously.
But it's not even like the adoption thing. I understand, because I think a lot of siblings do that thing where they're like, you were adopted. And it was, obviously in my case, my brothers tried to pull that off, and my mom and I look exactly alike.
Yes.
And I'm also super tall like my dad. And I was like, you know what? I think it's I probably came from
I know that pussy.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what I said when I was 11 years old. Yeah, that's what I screamed at my older brothers. But I understand, like, the adoption thing would be a little bit more like, damn, my entire life has been a lie. Who are my parents? But this is just a stepmom.
This is such a low-level thing that I feel like it's not that challenging to explain to a kid. I don't think...
Judging by Pornhub, stepmoms and their children are doing just fine.
I think that it's much different if you're one like that Fritzl guy, like, trying to explain...
Oh, my God, Joseph Fritzl.
See, there are different kind of families. So your mother was also my daughter. And I knew she had the sweetest vagina because I made it with my Siemens, correct? So I went to see what kind of Russian doll I could make of a child with my Siemens inside of the vagina, in which my Siemens make. That's a harder conversation.
That is a harder conversation. That's a disgusting conversation, Joseph Fritzl. I believe he's dead now.
It's filled with candor, though. Actually,
Yes.
he might.
I think that he died.
Did he?
Let me check that out.
Fact checker.
Quick message back from the fact checker here.
Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep.
Fact check. He is still alive. Joseph Fritzl. He is one of the worst human beings. I would put Fritzl and the Toy Box Killer together as maybe the worst two people that we've ever talked about. He is still alive. He is 84 years old.
84 years young.
He is old. And he is living in a prison. He's incarcerated at Garston Abbey. And evidently, he still has a wife, Rosemary Fritzl. Anyway.
Do you remember how everyone said he was like fun? They have a new Netflix documentary about him.
Do
No,
they
it wasn't
really?
new. It was like 2 years ago. There was about him. I forget what it was called. I think it was called like My Daughters, My Wives, My Banks, My Loves. Like it was something like that. I'm not
God.
sure. But I hope not. Honestly, I hope one. I hope what I said is not true.
I'm sure that it is.
So where are we leaving out with this story? More information is going to come out about this 14-year-old kid.
Yes.
We're going to find out exactly what's going on with him or not because he's a minor. When you might not.
Yes. But now this is the question, Henry, and this is always the question up for debate. 14 years old, he is a child.
He's a child.
Obviously, do you charge this person as an adult? I believe that we have a rule, and I don't know why we've been able to do this for so long. Same thing that happened in Wisconsin with the Slender Man stabbings.
Yes.
Those were 12-year-olds. It's like if we want to have a standard of like you're an adult at this age, this is when you can give consent, this is when you can legally have intercourse, then I do not believe we should be charging minors as adults. He probably needs to be in a home. He needs to be in a hospital for a long, long time.
I mean,
But
jail is not going to help this kid.
No, jail is going to make a 14-year-old a sociopath even more so, and he's just going to become hardened, and he's going to become like Michael Myers.
It's the severity of the crime and the way that they planned it. He lied to the police. He tried to tell them that somebody came in and broke in the house, and so they then realized like that was total fucking bullshit. So he immediately confessed. The Slender Man stabbings, those two little girls. I mean, the main little girl technically planned the whole fucking thing, which is all this like difficult, weird gray area. But prison does not rehab these kids, and they are so young that you'd like to think that there was places for them to go. But we were just, if there was, I believe it's called Adam's Son, the documentary from HBO. It's either that or Mother of the. It's about
a sociopathic child.
Yes, it's kind of like that movie Children of Rage that we saw that came out like 20 years ago. Where the problem though is that with the mental health issues that we have in America, we don't have the beds, we don't have the infrastructure
and a
to
lot
help
of times
these kids.
We got the private hospitals that are the wealthy people can put their kids in there and send them away. But if you need to go to a state-run hospital, good freaking luck, because those have basically just become what prison is. We don't have good mental health care in this country.
But there are
whatsoever.
good facilities, but most of it's like they got to get you before you do the crime that would put you in prison.
Well, that is an interesting conversation. So it's not bear meat. That's not the question this week. The question is, should a 14-year-old, regardless of how heinous the crime is, be charged as an adult? Side story is lpotl@gmail.com.
And bear meat, we know.
We know. We
know. It's thank you. Again,
Thank
for the
you.
information.
Thank you.
But I'm starting
All
to feel
right.
like Forrest Gump talking to Bubba about all the different ways bear meat can be prepared. I want to talk about this story from Gizmodo.
Okay.
Large underwater observatory disappears without a trace, baffling scientists.
This is crazy.
This article was written by George Dvorsky. Hell yeah, fellow Polak. A large monitoring station used to gather important scientific data in the Baltic Sea has mysteriously vanished. The underwater observatory, which had been on the seafloor since December 2016, the seafloor, so it's attached to the fucking bottom of the ocean.
It's on the bottom of the ocean.
Is managed by the Geomar Helmholtz Center for Ocean Research, Kiel, and the Helmholtz Center Gstaad. On August 21st at 8:15 p.m. local time, transmissions from the 300,000 euro, $330,000 station came to a sudden halt. Divers were dispatched to the site, only to find, much to their astonishment, that the entire structure was gone, save for a shredded transmission cable, according to a GMR statement.
So do we know where SpongeBob and his friends were and the day of the thieving. Okay?
I want a trial.
I want a trial.
I want to see SpongeBob.
I want to see SpongeBob on trial.
We were doing some research in Edinburgh. Our friend Neil, Marcus, he gave
Yes.
Marcus and I a personalized tour of Edinburgh. And they used to do this thing in the center of town where they used to put a guy up on a fucking cross, right? They used to tie up his arms up on the side of the cross, and they used to put this kind of headpiece that would hold his head back, and then they would gut him, and they would pull out his fucking intestines, right, and wrap it around his torso a bunch, and burn him, and make him eat him and shit, because I believe that's just called being drawn, and then you're quartered after that.
Oh, okay, that's the being drawn.
That's what should be done to SpongeBob.
Do that to SpongeBob. I don't know if he has intestines or not. That's up for debate.
How does he shit?
That is another question up for debate. But also up for debate is, how the hell did these people get down there to the ocean floor, and how did they do it undetected? And why would they do it?
Back to the article. The observatory was in a restricted area off the northern coast of Germany. Boats, including fishing vessels, are not allowed into the area.
Okay.
That somebody or a group of individuals removed the observatory remains the most plausible explanation. Other factors, such as a massive storm, heavy currents, or even marine animals, were ruled out as potential causes owing to the weight of the instrument.
Okay, so a shark couldn't have done it.
This thing's fucking huge. Don't blame the sharks.
I'm not blaming the sharks. I love sharks.
No one has any fucking clue. They don't know why it's gone. The station collected data about water temperature, nutrients, salinity, the speed of water flow, and concentrations of chlorophyll and methane. This data was used to evaluate the health of the ecosystem in and around the southwestern Baltic Sea. Now, they say that there is evidence of other giant, like, underground shipwrecks gone missing.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's treasure hunters, people stealing them to basically sell for scrap or sell for whatever they find.
If you steal this thing, right, theoretically, you don't know how to use this and you don't really care about it. You want to sell it on the black market. This thing is the size of a small car. And is this really that sought after of an object, of a scientific object? What are you going to do with this? Is it going to be sold on the dark web? At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if there's just two stoners sitting in their living room staring at it, being like, what the hell are we supposed to do? Pulling a bunch of ivy out of their hair.
Thursday was fucked up.
It's crazy, bro.
Why did we fucking do this, man? What are we going to do with it? I got all the seaweed in my living room. The landlord's going to be so fucking pissed, man. But the missing observatory consists of two racks, one weighing 250 kilos, 550 pounds, and the other 100 kilos, 220 pounds. The racks include a frame holding the power supply. Along with a heavy cable connecting the station to the coast and a frame to hold the sensors. Both racks were, quote-unquote, removed with great force from their position.
I would assume so.
Now, they have no clue. They say the data that was collected was quote-unquote, downright priceless, but they have no clue what someone would gain from stealing this unless it's some other state actor, but there's no evidence saying that, unless also, of course, it is the great Cthulhu.
It could be Cthulhu. Let's blame it on the Russians. Why not? Very interesting. And we will figure out, hopefully they will figure out who stole this 1,600-pound thing. You think that it wouldn't be that hard to find out?
It was monitored by the government. No one has any clue what the hell is happening.
But they got the data, though.
Scary, dude.
The ocean's scary.
The ocean's scary, dude.
That's where, if there's aliens, that's where they are. They're down there swimming somewhere.
Ooh, Kissel, you're starting to absorb.
I absorb. Like
You
SpongeBob.
Like SpongeBob, all full of shit.
I don't think he poops.
He better poop.
If you would, then every time he would squeeze, he would be squeezing out poop.
You are. What do you think what happens when you actually... I mean, I'm not so fucking marine biologist, right? Because
no, we're not.
I don't go to your fucking school. I didn't have time. I was busy to go to your fucking biology school.
You were playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I wasn't busy.
That's not being busy. That's actually being not busy.
It's busy examining my imagination, but I imagine if you take a natural sponge just from the ground and you squeeze it, all that does come out of it is shit.
Maybe. Again, that's a toss-up for the audience.
Do sponges, real sponges, do they have penises?
I don't know, but that's a great segue into this story. Speaking of squeezing something, let's go to North Carolina, shall we?
Please.
So all the way to North Carolina, a woman was arrested after she tied up her husband. And you know what she did, Henry? She cut off his Johnson.
Oh.
She cut off his penis.
You go, girl.
I don't know what happened. So
you go, girl. She must have been listening to Lizzo.
I have no idea. She was feeling passion. Why
men great till they gotta be great?
You know, I've heard Lizzo now, and I think it's wonderful.
I took a DNA test, and I'm 100% that bitch.
Is that what it says?
Lizzo, man.
Is
Making
that-
fucking chicks cut their fucking dudes' penises off, man.
Maybe, is that what it said when they caught the Golden State Killer? And that he took a DNA test, and I'm 100% that bitch?
Guess all.
Oh, yeah. So she, at knife point, she tied up her husband. So her husband must have already been scared of her because he's just like, I don't even know. Like if Natalie comes at you with a knife and she's like, I'm going to tie you up, I'm going to say just really, I don't know. Like don't, but it's tough to say.
It's really very tough to say because in the end, I don't want to be held at knife point, but I feel like we could negotiate. But I feel like also at that point, if I'm at knife point, I'd like to think I'm evaluating how'd we get here?
How did we get here? Well, he did not seem to evaluate that very well because he ended up getting tied up, not victim blaming whatsoever, of course.
Well, do we know what he did? What happened? Do we know anything about their relationship?
Her name is Victoria Frabutt, and his name is James Frabutt. And a spokesperson for the sheriff's office released a press release saying when they arrived, James, he's 61 years young, claimed that his wife pulled out a knife and tied him up inside
And
the
I tell you what, I have no idea what it was about.
No idea.
No, it's because you don't listen.
Well, apparently,
I have no idea what this conflict is
so
about.
he came home. She pulled out the knife. She tied her up. She tied him up. She then cut off his penis, and then the authorities they were able to recover it, and they did put it on ice, like a little. Like it's like you got to put if your penis is on ice, it's never good.
No, buddy.
It's never a good day.
Not even if you're just because it's sore from fucking.
No, it's not good, no matter what. No. And he was taken to the hospital, but we have no word if they've been able to attach the Frankenpenis. Of course, shades of John Bobbitt come to mind.
Now, the recent documentary series that came out about Lorena Bobbitt really did a good job of showing just how much abuse Lorena Bobbitt went through.
John Bobbitt was such a colossal piece of shit.
He has not stopped being a piece of shit.
No, he's a horrible person.
Yeah, he's constantly capitalizing on what he believes is a funny version of fame. And because he lost his penis and he got it sewn back on.
He's the O.J. Simpson of having his penis cut off.
But I don't know why. We'll see what happens here. Like, is this woman gone mad? Or is there a lot of reasons why? I can't help but think.
I don't know.
If you're getting your cock cut off, not by a stranger, because the thing is by a stranger, it's more likely they be crazy.
I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to the man who had his penis cut off at this point because this woman tied up her husband and cut off his penis. So I'm not going to be like, oh my God, she's a victim here. I'm going to say the victim is the victim currently.
Lorena Bobbitt was specifically a specific story about penis cutting off.
That is a very specific story. And yeah, watch the documentary if you haven't watched it yet. Honestly, I get it. I understand why she snapped. It had to be done.
But still, don't cut anybody's penis off.
And then the sheriff, at least this man, they had a little bit more respect for his penis. They put it on ice like it's a fine wine. But with Bobbitt, the cop just stepped on it and was like, "There it is, Nerda. That's the penis."
Oh yeah, the big tall like pointing from the sky down.
He just pointed because he didn't want to touch it because he thought it would make him gay.
I get it. There's nothing like a severed penis that makes me so hard. It makes me think about firemen sliding up and down a pole.
Of course, naturally. So that is yet another story of a penis being cut off. I feel like once a month we just get a bevy of stories like this. So you know what? Be careful out there.
People are agitated.
Be careful out there.
But there's no reason to cut somebody's penis off. Use your words.
Try to,
and you know what? Also, ladies, instead of getting the cock cut off, because then you go to jail, all right? If you want to get back at a man, you get that money.
Get that money.
Yeah, all you have to do is divorce him.
I don't know how much money the Frabutt family had, but nonetheless. Now,
what about the Frabutt family line of flat butt jeans? What about the flat butt jean legacy they're leaving behind?
I love the flat butt jeans. You can get them at Mill's Fleet Farm or Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Those are two stores in the Midwest. It was a family, and they got into a fight, Mill and Blaine, and then Mill got to call it Fleet Farm, and the other guy called it Farm and Fleet.
I'm just glad they didn't cut each other's fucking cocks off.
We don't know that yet. They do sell small flat butt jeans, though. But this story, Henry, this is one you want to talk about. It's about the French beaches because you're a beach baby.
Yeah, I love talking about French beaches.
Yeah. Oh,
they
nice.
beautiful beaches of France.
Man, we're not exhausted at all. This is just great.
Fucking help me, man.
So, but Henry, little do people know, Henry is a beach guy. You love the beach. You like to roll around in the ocean.
I like subjecting other people to my body.
You have no problem doing that, but
Because you know what's nice is that I saunter around. I have my fucking sexy hot wife. She's in a bikini, and then they have to see me next to her, and you have to be like, you take fucking. It takes a little spoonful of sugar to make the medicine go down.
You know, you are doing a good job rubbing off on me a little bit when it comes to body confidence. I like to stay fully clothed from head to toe, almost like an Amish person. But you really let your freak flag fly out there. So
see my fucking handles, see my back hair. That's me. That's the dream, baby. I made it to the beach, baby.
You made it all the way to the beach, but now the beach might kill you.
Now, this comes from the illustrious New York Post. Killer slime that can kill you in seconds taking over France's beaches by Jackie Salo. Now, we're living in a fucking trauma movie.
Oh, yeah,
It's starting to happen. We got Donald Trump as president, and now this shit there's a flesh-eating virus that's happening in Florida.
That's right.
We've got this fucking bullshit. Listen to this. France's beaches have been inundated by lethal slime, with what experts say has the potential to kill sunbathers within seconds.
What?
It is a horror movie.
It
If you
really
look at
is.
the clip,
Yeah, I did.
the clip is fluorescent green slime washing up on the shore.
It's like the Blob.
It is the Blob.
Yeah.
Fears have heightened, and 6 beaches were closed this summer in Brittany as the killer slime took over the vacation destination. This is also from The Guardian. It's a shame this place is. Let me take it back so you guys can understand it. I want to set it in set the proper tone.
Okay.
It's a shame this place has come to be associated with death, said Andre Olivrio, an environmental activist who warned that large amounts of green algae on the beaches can kill you in a second.
That's horrified.
Piles of toxic algae have covered the shore on the northern coast near Saint-Bleu due to the over-fertilization of nearby fields draining into the ocean, according to the news outlets. The sludge, which releases poisonous hydrogen sulfide gases that can lead to loss of consciousness and cardiac arrest, has washed up on the shores for decades, but environmentalists say that the problem has worsened this summer due to exceptional weather.
And at least 2 people have died so far, dozens of animals. This is... Man, we got the Amazons on fire. We got the ice caps melting. The world is changing. This is the beginning of our future, where all the oceans are going to start killing us.
They're rising up to kill us.
It's insane.
But that's just we are living in a cartoon dystopia. It is starting to come about. We psychically projected this onto ourselves. We wanted this subconsciously for some reason, and now we're in it, and we got to deal with it.
I know, and speaking of dystopian future, we did get sent this article multiple times, but I have to debunk it. Marty the Robot, the headline was accused of sexual harassment, but Marty the Robot, it's a made-up story, and also if you think about it, Marty the Robot has no hands.
He could just bump against you.
He could bump against you, or I would assume at this point.
But in order for you to be sexually harassed, right? I mean, I'm not trying to be too blue here. Your pussy'd have to like be out. You know what I mean?
I don't know. If you're going to be by Marty.
If you were, you'd have to be bent over, spread eagle, waiting for Marty, and then the blind or the half-headed grocer boy, he would have to have the remote controls and really point Marty towards your vagina.
Marty doesn't have remote controls. He's allowed to willy-nilly wander around.
But he goes towards spills.
Okay, interesting point, and point noted.
You remember that when someone
Honestly,
recently wrote a picture of...
When we were doing our meet and greet yesterday, it was I will say, I love the culture.
Love the people.
I love the people of the UK.
Our friends out here are the funniest group of motherfuckers. They are great.
They are the best. But yes, women talk about, we got a message from a fan saying, oh my God, I got to meet my heroes. I was wetter than an otter's pockets. And I have never heard
here comes Marty.
And there he is. Spill on aisle, the meet and greet line for the last podcast on the left. All right.
This story was sent to me by a listener I believe the name is Carnix.
Okay.
All right, here we go. This was it sent a very interesting letter about their magical works and talking about a very scary experience they did while doing a binding, which I'll save for a later episode because I want to be able to read the whole article. But they sent an article that I love. This is just right up my wheelhouse.
Okay.
Now, this comes from the Teos News. Is it Teos?
I won't know,
New Mexico? Or is it Taos?
Go with both of them.
A Teos close encounter of the hunters and alien kind.
Ooh.
This was written by Stacy Matlock. Bow hunters Joss Brinkley and Daniel Lucero, dressed in camouflage gear, looked a little uncomfortable sitting in chairs at a local newspaper because they like to stand.
Of course they do. Why wouldn't they?
The Santa Fe County residents had just come into Teos after several days in rugged terrain near Cerro de la Hoya, also called Pot Mountain, northwest of town near Ute Mountain. They had a strange tale to tell, and they weren't sure of the reception.
We're a couple of guys that don't believe in much, but we believe now,
Brinkley said. They went hunting for elk. They encountered aliens or something else so strange, they don't know what else to call it.
Oh, my.
Now, these are people, they are not prone to seeing things, and they don't particularly believe in aliens. Opening morning of bow hunting season was Sunday, September 1st. The two men had gone a couple of days early to scout the area for elk. They set up along the tree line on different sides of a field and waited. After 3 hours and no elk, Brinkley became restless. It was about 9:30 a.m.
See, that's the thing. They got to wake up so damn early.
It's hard to scare these animals
It
asleep.
is.
I take off walking, creeping around through the woods, looking for elk.
Brinkley said. He reached the top of the mountain where there's a caldera, a type of wide bowl left behind by a collapsed volcano.
Oh.
He went to the edge of the southwest side, and as he walked to the edge, he noticed two figures. He thought at first they were hunters, but they were very tall shapes.
Very tall shapes of these beings standing side by side, staring right at me.
Right? When he got closer, he noticed the shape would be like their heads. It looked like they had huge hoods on. It looked like two ribbons coming off either side to a point at the top and bottom, like a banana.
Weird.
The right side was black, the left side was white and a little shiny. The torsos were kind of black. It looked like clothes in the middle of an oval. It was just gray. They had these weird shaped heads.
Wow.
He thought maybe it was the back of their heads. And as they got closer, they disappeared. They
No
eventually
kidding.
go around the volcano and they find, long story short, they find this thing that's not unlike an encampment. They said it's this weird structure. They said they both work on movie sets. They end up going and they come to, I can see people working like that are hunters. They also will do like set deck or also be like literally set construction.
Sure.
And they said, we saw this big tent structure, like a circus tent, 50 to 60 feet tall. Coming off the left of it was a long building, almost like what you would build for an archery lane for target practice. It was the third the height, but really long, maybe a couple 100 feet.
Whoa.
They were about a quarter mile away and couldn't see the bottom of the structure. They watched it for about a minute because they were driving, right?
Okay.
Trying to find a new location for elk. And they're like, what is that? Is that a base camp for a movie? Are they building some kind of alien ship? They drove down a little hill. They lost sight of the structure for at most 5 seconds, Brinkley said. And when we topped the hill, it was gone.
No kidding. That's very cool.
It's hyper strange. That's really the entire story. I just like covering because I love those types of alien
it's
stories
spooky.
where they are not just straight up grays or like straight up a UFO or lights in the sky. That type of high strangeness where you see that there are perhaps many different alien species that are around us.
What would
or
you say that
possibly
description
interdimensional.
was? What would you? What's the closest species that would kind of fit the description that those guys described?
It sounds like nothing I've heard before, but if you read anything with Jacques Vallée in Passports of Magonia and his works in Brazil, you see that there are many different types of, like what people say, it could literally be a gray. If we're talking nuts and bolts fucking UFOs, like they came from a specific planet and they arrived here, then maybe it's straight up a uniform. Honestly,
Who knows?
Like maybe it's a thing that they are wearing. Maybe it's a thing. Maybe it's new gear.
They got new outfits.
I don't know.
Jinkos are popular now. Who knew? Who knew? Well, hopefully those guys have a good hunting season. But maybe that explains why there was no elk out there.
That's what they're trying to say.
Because it does seem strange. If it is hunting season, usually it correlates with that being busy time.
Well, that's
for
why
the
they kept
animals.
moving location because they were really frustrated that they couldn't find any elk. It didn't really make any
Yeah,
sense.
that's fascinating. All right, well, let's just do Hero of the Week. And we have a new theme song coming in here. This theme song is by Wrath Sheba. And I mean, I have to say, towards the end of it, it might aggravate you. But you know what? It's a wonderful song.
We like trying new ones, so.
So here it is, Hero of the Week. So speaking of wildlife, this hero of the week is a young child, an 8-year-old boy who was able to survive an attack by a mountain lion. He picked up a stick and tried to jab it in the eye. So it's an 8-year-old boy in Colorado attacked by a mountain lion. He's speaking out about the incident. The name of the kid is Pike Carlson. His parents named him Pike.
That's a cool name. It sounds like an outdoorsy kid.
It is an outdoorsy kid. So when Carlson's father first ran out, he saw his son's head in the mountain lion's mouth.
Damn.
But the mountain lion, it was not about to be his day because Pike fought back, poked the mountain lion in the head, and was able to survive. And so I just think this is a powerful story because it's a reminder that even when you are in peril, never give up. Keep on fighting.
Never fight, never surrender. We
Never
will
surrender.
fight them on the beaches. We will fight them on the river banks.
That's perfect. Absolutely. You're a regular old Winston Churchill.
I have the same body.
You do. I know. Not as much of a war criminal, though, which I
Yeah.
always like about you.
What are you talking about? Gary Oldman showed how cute he was.
Oh, just like Dick Cheney was so cute in that movie.
They're so cute and they're so
love it.
charming.
I know. No, Henry Kissinger, we could still put him in jail. We could still.
Somebody could just hit them with his car.
That's very possible. Honestly, he lives in New York. That's maybe how he's going to die, or a mountain lion attack. So this boy, Pike, congratulations. You're the hero of the week for once again reminding us, stay in the fight, do the best you can, and if you have the will to live, you very well may just destroy a mountain lion. Okay, now we got a couple of listener emails, and I gotta say, these are pretty cool.
This comes from A.
All right.
So here we go. I wanted to tell you about my tumor. Last year, after being sick for about 6 months and being told I had an intestinal blockage,
Oh.
I found out that I actually had a basketball-sized tumor on my ovary called a teratoma. If you haven't heard of this before, it's a type of germ cell tumor containing many different types of tissue. It can be found on ovaries in women or testicles in men.
Okay.
Check your testicles.
I'm checking. Hold on. Nope, still small.
These types of tumors used to be thought to be reabsorbed twins or something because they can have hair, teeth, or fingernails. It's since been debunked,
Oh.
but most people still ask me that. My tumor was mostly brain tissue, and it had about a dozen teeth scattered throughout it, and inside had a bunch of phlegm-producing respiratory follicles.
Is it alive?
Sorta. My doctor said it exploded with phlegm when they dissected it. There are less than 25,000 cases of this in the U.S. every year, and only about 1% are cancerous. Mine was super cancerous, so I had to do a few months of chemo.
Oh,
but I'm
my.
good now. I have attached a picture of my tumor for your viewing pleasure. I made my surgeons all take pictures of it for me while I was under. Nothing would bring me more joy than to hear you describe this picture of my badass tumor on Side Stories.
Okay.
And I'm looking at it right now.
Let's take a look.
And you know what it looks like? The fucking haggis I almost ate.
Oh, yeah, there that is. I cannot believe. It looks like, what's the, oh my God, I'm forgetting. What?
Quaid, come to me,
Yes,
Quaid.
it does look like Total Recall. Also, Basket Case. The movie Basket Case.
It's kind of
looks
cute.
like the creature in there.
It looks like a big old brain. But
It
honestly,
really does.
You
How-
cover that in sauerkraut? I'd eat it.
No, man.
You did not tell me what that was, and that was on sauerkraut, and there was and I had a big fucking mug of Paulaner. I would eat that.
This is going to end up how this is how like you're going to accidentally eat human flesh.
Yes.
Because you're just going to get tricked into doing it. Maybe even eat your own brain like the movie Hannibal.
Because I'm a culinary daredevil.
That's what they say. So this is not a twin, though. I didn't realize that had been debunked. I thought that was like kind of the whole thing with like the teeth and the brain and all that stuff. What else could it be?
I don't know. It's just a weird thing that grows. I don't fucking know.
Oh my God.
You heard me before talk about how I'm not a biologist.
No, I know that, but it's got a brain. Can it think?
It's just made out of brain material.
Yeah. But I mean, oh my.
The body's just weird. We're a bunch of sacks of meat. We went to the surgeon's hall in Edinburgh, and you'd be fucking surprised how much. Oh my God, we are just meat.
Yeah, we're meat bags. All right. Well, this is a email that I will read. It comes in from Jay, and this is regarding JonBenét Ramsey, and the subject is JonBenét Ramsey was my friend, and of course we forget, although she was very young, 6 years old. Obviously, she would have had friends. So she writes, I wanted to share a few experiences and a few memories of my early childhood that included JonBenét. She and I were in the same dance class at Rec Center in Boulder, and we became friends during that time. She goes on to say, even at a young age, she was really a top talent. She talks about how she had a memory of the dance instructor flipping through a CD on the stereo, listening to each song for a few seconds before hitting the next. The whole class was standing there in the way that most 6-year-olds would. They were just pretty bored.
Yeah.
Probably picking our noses and shuffling our feet, but not JonBenét. She would explode into dance during short bursts of music, switching between tap, jazz, hip-hop, and so on. I remember watching her natural skill at that moment, the way she was performing for no one, and how spot on she was while doing so.
Do you think they killed her to make room for Taylor Swift?
Well, do you think that there had to be one? You think it's like a Highlander thing?
Yep.
I think they both could have been very famous celebrities, but that's a fascinating conspiracy theory. And it also, this is kind of a sweet story.
Yeah.
Because apparently at one point after class, they were going to meet up with JonBenét and her mother. So a week or two before her death, JonBenét, her mom, my mom, and I were chatting after class. There was some mention of how I needed new dance shoes, to which her mom said something to the effect of, oh, we just got a new pair for JonBenét for her upcoming performance. Why don't you guys come over soon for a play date and we'll give you her old pair. Let's set up after Christmas when we get back from our trip to Michigan. But of course,
and
that
we got
never
all these
happened.
new neckties that we could try.
No,
on
that
you
is
as well.
horrible. That's bad, Henry. That's bad. No, they were being sweet. They were going to give a pair of shoes away.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then also attached to this is a bit of a ghost story. So I'll just read this very fast. Jay writes, fast forward to high school. My brother and his friends used to longboard around Boulder after school. It was a group of four that day, and two of them, one being my brother, knew JonBenét during her short life. They returned to my parents' house after boarding and appeared genuinely stressed and confused by something that they had seen while passing her house. The group was longboarding past her house as she lived on a pretty decent hill. All four of them claimed to have seen a fifth black shadow on the pavement that moved down her entire block with them, kind of positioned in the center of the group. It was there long enough that they were talking about it, saying, hey, you guys see that? What is that? They stopped at the end of the street to look around and figure out the source. The shadow slowed to a stop with them, and they all watched as it dissipated. Who knows? Maybe she was playing with the kids on her street, as she used to in life.
Whoa.
So thank you for that email. Very interesting indeed. And of course, R.I.P. JonBenét. And we still have not solved this, right? Because every year they're like, somebody's admitted to it, but we haven't, right?
When we covered it, we all said, like, I still vaguely believe that she was killed by an outside actor. I am not certain, but now there's a lot of people put it on Burke, and people are very
but
emotionally invested in the concept
we don't want
of
to
it being
accuse
her brother.
people. We don't
Or her
want to
parents.
accuse people wrongly,
Yeah.
but
So I have no clue who did it. But yeah, I mean,
crazy.
somebody did it.
Somebody did do it. That is the one thing we can say here on Last Podcast on the Left. Somebody did it. Somebody did it.
It's like Madeleine McCann, which is a bigger deal over here than it is in the States.
It's so funny. We mentioned the name Madeleine McCann for our live show, and in the States, a couple of people get it, but here it's their Casey Anthony, I guess, but they also know Casey Anthony here.
But Mandel McCann's a very big deal here.
Very big deal. Yeah, just mentioning the name triggers a lot of
People
reaction.
just laugh and throw flowers. They love it. They just eat it up. They fucking eat it up like a bunch of hogs.
In a strange way, in our audience, in the way that we set it up, they do laugh.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fascinating. All right, everyone. Well, thank you all so much for listening. We can't wait to see you on the road in Birmingham, in London, Stockholm, Sweden, and Germany.
Germany.
Cannot wait.
Live your life like you got a fucking gut full of full rump-faced steak, and it's been served pink, just like you like it. And yeah, maybe it was like weirdly stringy.
Strange.
You know what I mean?
Like bear meat.
Which is it's strange
Yeah.
because steak's not supposed to be stringy, but I guess here it's normal. But live your life like that, like you like that.
Sure.
Like that's your taste, and you
Yes.
enjoy it. Love the fact that food here, when you taste it, it goes into your mouth, and there is food in there, but there's no taste to it, and you can't do it.
Yeah.
But you love that because you're from here. And it's your palate, and
Yep.
and you love that you love it, and other people are trying to judge you, but fuck that,
Who cares?
because you like your paste.
And be like the kids from the movie Hook. Just make it in
Make
your
it the
mind.
meal, whatever it is you want it
whatever
to
you
be.
want it to be, yeah.
And laugh.
Laugh.
Laugh like you're three almost 40-year-old men in a van traveling together knee to knee.
Yes.
Just talking about the countryside.
Yeah.
And we do laugh, don't we?
Oh, we laugh. We laugh. We laugh. Yes.
Nothing but laugh. That's
Nothing.
why people say, oh, I bet you guys laugh all day.
All day long. That's all
do.
we do. That's all we do.
Almost as if I've gone completely unhinged.
I think that's possible. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for listening. Hail yourselves.
Hail Satan.
Magustalations.
Yeah, man.
Let's go get some pink steak.
Oh, let's get that pink steak.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.